What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Deadpool issue number 5. Now, there has been a lot going on inside the pages of Deadpool. We have Wade Wilson, who finds himself in love, but this love interest is an operative for a group of assassins. But while Deadpool and Valentine were on a date at the zoo, the Horror and Dr. Octopus, they launched an attack on the happy couple, trying to retrieve the Carnage symbiote sample the Horror had implanted inside of Deadpool's body. Things only got more chaotic as Lady Deathstrike had joined the fray. That's because she was very mad at Deadpool for ruining her audition to join the assassin group. With the Horror and Dr. Octopus able to capture both Deadpool and his new symbiotes, Valentine isn't going to let go of Deadpool so easily, using their powers to help heal Lady Deathstrike and also inject her with a specialized poison to ensure her cooperation. Valentine is ready to go get their man back. Meanwhile, the Carnage symbiote sample incubating inside of Deadpool has finally fully matured and Horror's true goal has come to light, bringing Cletus Cassidy back to life. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up at the Horror's lab. We have just seen the emergence of Cletus Cassidy coming from the body of Deadpool. The Horror making her introductions. Dr. Octavius saying that the experiment, it clearly was successful. We see Cletus and the Horror kind of have a flirtatious moment. With Deadpool saying something, Cletus looks down, saying that he almost forgot he was down there. He smashes in Deadpool's face. He thanks him for everything, but he is not going to stick around, working to disconnect himself from Deadpool. He recognizes that his legs just aren't working properly, and from Deadpool's body, we see a giant mouth with humongous teeth. This swallows up Cletus Cassidy in a single bite. As quickly as Cletus Cassidy had been reborn, he was taken out by the puppy. This is because the Horror had planted multiple symbiotes inside of his body. The Horror even saying that she might have forgotten about this one. Dr. Octavius confused on how you could forget that you put two different symbiotes inside of Deadpool. Deadpool not sure what to think. All he can do is point and say that that's a dog. That dog turning around and saying hello papa to Deadpool. Now this is what picks us up with Valentine. She is currently talking to Lord and Lady Deathstrike as well as the Horned Emperor. They are all discussing what had transpired, what had happened with Deadpool. Valentine is supposed to be working with the assassins, but she was found with Deadpool, so the Horned Emperor must know what is going on here. This is when Valentine exposes that Dr. Octavius is the one that put a hit out on himself. When they ask why Dr. Octavius would do this, Valentine says that they have some working theories, but they are not going to reveal any details until they are allowed to leave here unharmed. And so Lady Deathstrike and Valentine, they make their escape. They make their getaway, and now it is time for them to go rescue their boyfriend. Man, that's a confusing statement where we're using pronouns as their and they, and there's multiple people going to do this. But more specifically, we're talking about Valentine going to rescue their boyfriend. Taking us back over to the Horror's lab, we see that this giant puppy dog, it remembers Deadpool. It remembers him as Papa, and so it starts licking him, showing its affection. This is when the Horror's more vegetation-like dog begins to attack Deadpool's symbiote dog. The two of them begin to battle. Dr. Octavius recognizing that this is getting weird. He's not worried about revenge or anything else. He's good. He is leaving. As he goes to leave, the dogs that are battling, they fall on top of him. That's when Deadpool's dog, he spits up Deadpool's swords, giving him an opportunity to fight back. And so him and his pup, they go on the warpath. They fight against Horror and all of her creations. With Dr. Octavius being able to get back up to his feet, he goes to leave again, only to run into Valentine and Lady Deathstrike. Valentine ending up back-to-back with Deadpool. Both of them ecstatic to see one another. We see Valentine use some kind of chemical grenades, and this is able to push back some of the Horror's experiments come to life. But throwing these, they have to get out of here quickly, and in doing this, they had to leave behind their pup. Making it out of the facility, Valentine apologizes for the loss of his dog. But turning around, this is where he sees the dog carrying Lady Deathstrike out. Coming up with a new name for the dog, he calls the dog Princess. Lady Deathstrike saying to tell Princess to put me down and give me the antidote to the poison so it doesn't kill me. That is when Valentine lets us know that there was never any poison. They just needed a way to get Lady Deathstrike on board. We see Wade and Valentine kiss, and at this point, Lady Deathstrike is livid. She has been played by several people in the last few days. Stabbed by a symbiote, almost blown up in a lab and slobbered on by a different symbiote. And now she's watching Deadpool slobber on somebody. She's ready to just get out of here. And so as they walk off into the sunset, what appears to be a very good ending for at least these three, we pick up with the Horror. Encapsulating herself in one of her flowers, this protected her when the laboratory had exploded. Now this could have gone better for her, but it could have gone a lot worse. As she begins new recordings, she begins new Project Deadpool. Proof of concept has been achieved, and fortunately, 2 of the specimens, including the Carnage symbiote, had been lost. However, she has several specimens at her disposal, including some that are still implanted in Deadpool. In time, who knows what they will become? Back at Doc Ock's lab, he gets a package. This is a thank you note. A thank you for holding up his end of the bargain. This is coming from Valentine. Back at the Assassin's Guild, the Great Horned Emperor is now having a conversation with everybody here, letting it be known that they have had their suspicions for some time, but Valentine has been compromised. And for Deadpool of all people, this means that everybody is now in play. Everybody has the opportunity to go collect on this contract, to find Deadpool, to find Valentine, and when you do, you must kill them both. And that will be the end of this issue. Now, in the very last pages of this issue, we get a little note to Dr. Octavius, the first note that Valentine had wrote to him, letting him know about the auditions, saying that his name is a potential target. Final choices have not been made, but if they come for him, which they will one day, why not have your name on the list now? We can work out a situation where you do survive. It looks like Valentine had set up this whole operation so that they could more or less get Deadpool within the same room as them. That way she could date Deadpool. That is what it appears to be. Dr. Octavius obviously benefiting from this because his name was on the list, and now it is not, which means next year his name won't be there. It probably won't be for a lot of years. And so, at least for now, he has saved himself from assassination from this organization. And Deadpool and Valentine, along with their dog Princess, they have walked off into the sunset, but obviously that's not gonna last for long, with the Assassin's Guild right on their tail. And last but not least, Cletus Cassidy making his return, only to be swallowed up in the first 2 pages. So any concern on Cletus Cassidy and what role he is going to play, especially when in the pages of Carnage, Cletus Cassidy has returned. He has his own symbiote dragon type thing going on. We don't have to worry about these stories clashing in any way, shape, or form. But I am very curious on what else the Horror planted inside of Deadpool. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with this series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with Deadpool. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. much like Patreon having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to free comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.